Hey, what is going on, crypto people? Listen, most DeFi insurance fails for the same reason, and it's not the smart contracts, it's the collateral. Today, we're breaking down the correlation problem and why Firelight's thesis of using uncorrelated capital like XRP and XLM by way of Blair could be the first real step toward institutional grade risk transfer. Love the concept. Love that terminology. What's going on, fam? Happy freaking Talk That Talk Thursday to each and every one of you. Really, really excited to share today in the live stream because I just listen. For me, what Firelight is looking to do with this DeFi cover is the game changer. It's the moat for the digital asset space. I really, truly believe that. Now, listen, I know I've covered this several times, but I just want to continue to cover it because I want people to get the bigger picture, but also get that this is a home run for everybody in the space. For people who don't perform in DeFi, who don't, got the death grips on their cold wallets, cold storage wallets. It's for everyone. It's for everyone because it makes the strong stronger. And that is absolutely a massive thing for us in this space, right? Old money is out here, doesn't want us to win. You understand? This is massive for us. I mean, you see what's going on right now with this the Clarity Act and the banking lobbies and the lawyers all got not wanting to let loose of the goose, the golden goose, right? We see what's going on there. They don't, they're making 20 to 30 billion per quarter in profit, and they don't want to share. And they don't want to share. They don't want to distribute that out. They want to keep it to themselves. Using our money to get the vast majority, using our deposits to get the vast majority to be able to go out and then leverage those deposits to create cash flow for them, pay us up to 0.1%, up to zero point 0.1, sometimes it's less, and they don't want to share it. In tens of billions of profit per quarter, profit. Yeah. So you got to understand that. So we need to, as an industry, as a new asset class, as a new financial system, we have to become stronger, right? It's important. It's massive important. I'd love to hear what Brian Armstrong thinks about this concept. They're probably trying to build their own thing, right? I would love to hear what Brad Garlinghouse has to say about this concept. David Schwartz, it's a big deal that what Firelight's looking to do. And sure, if others come and try to do the same thing, awesome, because we just need it big time. Let's make the strong stronger. So I appreciate you guys being here again. Happy Talk That Talk Thursday. I'm excited for today. Got the big news that my New York Football Giants got themselves a new head coach. Yeah, and not just any football coach. How about that? Sunish Shatra is the first in the building. Appreciate you being here, bro. Firelight Phase 2 is about to be insane. Indeed, it is. Indeed, it is. What's going on, brother Crypto? How are you, my guy? I'm doing well, bro. I appreciate you asking. Clarity. Old money is putting up a fight, my brother. Indeed, they are. Like a lot of people don't get the concept of old money doesn't want you to doesn't want you to win. Like a lot of people think it's some other thing. Like they don't understand. The old money created the Federal Reserve and that system. Like you got to get it. You have to know, right? Old money is putting up a fight, my brother, and we have to let our elected official Republicans or Democrats know uh, we are G indeed. Got to hold them accountable. That's right. So I heard, Coinbase folks pulled out. Next thing you know, Senate is delaying the marking up of the bill. You got to hold firm on this. The banks have been doing things like, look, it's old money who changed the Uniform Commercial Code, Articles 8 and 9. That was old money who did that. I hope you understand that. That was old money. Who did that? Who was behind that? Right? Zed, what's going on, bro? How are you, my friend? Appreciate you checking in. Firelight's got some awesome stuff. Jesus Rodriguez, CTO over there, did an interesting post on X. I wanted to cover that, uh, for sure. Wanted to cover that. Spectra, the position on Spectra Finance is looking good in an LP position there, and in a PT, took a PT position. Well, locking in that interest rate, about whatever percent it's going to be, up to 40%. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. The market's got up to what, 97,000 for Bitcoin at one time. That was awesome to see. That is awesome to see. But all that stuff is secondary. If we can make the strong stronger, once we begin to make the strong stronger, it's going to be it'll be awesome for everybody. It's all encompassing to every person in the space. Even for those who come in here, they just gonna get a win and they're out. For people who just come in here, they make a purchase or two and they're out. They're off doing their entrepreneur thing, off doing their business thing, off being a mom, pa, grandpa. It'll help them as well. Making the strong stronger is an awesome concept. It really is an awesome concept. So I appreciate you guys checking in. Do me a favor, hit that like button. That'd be super duper dope. If you didn't get a chance to do so on the way in, no worries. Just collapse the chat real quick. Go smash the like button and then come back and hang out with the crypto siege and family. I wonder if I should start saying I'm your host, CJ Miller. I don't know if I should do that. All right, let me find this post here. This was where my inspiration came from. Jesus. Yeah, there it is. Jesus Rodriguez, smart guy. Really smart guy. All right. Yeah, I was inspired by this post here from Jesus Rodriguez. Again, I want all of us to get the bigger picture and how phenomenal this could be if they get it right for the entire digital asset space. Institutions will look at this and say, okay, I understand that. Yeah, that, we can take that to, these committees that we have to make sure we're covered, make sure risk is covered, and then be able to allocate into DeFi on Flare and other places. A big deal. It is a big deal, right? So let me go over this real quick. Jesus says, if you have been reading my series of posts about Firelight, you know the scaling issue in DeFi insurance has been one of the top challenges we tried to address since the beginning. If you look at the graveyard of failed DeFi insurance protocols, you will find a common challenge, not so much related to the protocol itself, not so much to the protocol itself, but to the asset selection. It was correlation risk. In traditional finance, the first rule of insurance is diversification. You do not insure a house against flood damage using a capital pool backed by real estate in the same flood zone. If the flood happens, your liability spikes exactly when your collateral crashes. You understand it? The root of it, for years, DeFi has been trying to insure Ethereum protocols using Ethereum-based assets like ETH and DAI and USDC. This works fine in a bull market, but in a systemic crash, the exact moment when insurance is needed most, the value of the quote unquote safety fund evaporates in lockstep with the assets it is supposed to protect. How many guys understand that and understand that Jesus, they figured it out. They figured out the challenge, the core challenge. They figured it out. And you have to first understand what the challenge is before you begin to come up with a solution to cover it, right? To solve the problem. Zayfion, what's up, man? How are you, my friend? Pookie is in the building. What's up, brother? Life is good. You get it, right? You understand what Jesus is saying here. This is a big deal. And a lot of people, they think about DeFi, like they don't think about DeFi insurance. They don't think about DeFi cover. They're thinking about DeFi. They're thinking about the yield. They don't understand that, you know, this concept of making the strong stronger is massively important. We want Aave to win, MakerDAO to win, Compound to win. We want Uniswap to win. We want to make the strong stronger. What's going on, Javon? How are you, bro? Appreciate you checking in. This is an important concept because it affects us all. So I'm cheering for the guys over at Firelight. I want them to win. I will be participating. I have started with the points thing. I want it to win. We want to be able to say 20 years from now, we're talking to our grandchildren, that we were here and we helped to build this new financial system. You know what I mean? It's important. It's important. Did I miss anybody checking in? No, I didn't. All right, let's get back to this article. I'm going to read this again because this is important. This works fine in a bull market, but in a systemic crash, this is, you know, previous attempts to provide DeFi insurance on Ethereum. They used Ethereum-based assets. Jesus is saying this works fine in a bull market, but in a systemic crash, the exact moment when insurance is needed the most, the value of the safety fund evaporates in lockstep with the assets it is supposed to protect. This is not insurance, it is leveraged beta. The Firelight thesis, this is important. Uncorrelated capital vaults to build a true risk model. We must break this correlation. This is the core architectural thesis behind Firelight. We are introducing a mechanism that allows us to underwrite DeFi risk using assets that are economically detached from the EVM's ecosystem's immediate volatility. Specifically, we are unlocking massive dormant capital pools like XRP and XLM. You know, I did a post on X about this XRP and XLM, and the initial thing was going to be XRP, but expect the XLM-Fi, expect the BTC-Fi. You should check it out. It's at crypto_CEEJ. Kind of proud of that. Rather. You should check it out. Why these assets, ask Jesus. Low correlation coefficient. Historically, these assets have demonstrated distinct market beta compared to the complex DeFi strategies on Ethereum or Arbitrum. They do not crash simply because a lending protocol on Optimism had a liquidity crisis. Number two, massive liquidity depth. There is billions of dollars in hard value sitting in these ecosystems, currently earning zero yield. The quote unquote hard security layer, number three. By bridging these assets via flares, via flares FAssets, we can use them as the bedrock for insurance vaults. Massive by way of Flare. Again, Flare Networks, in my opinion, is the next level layer one EVM blockchain that has some unique, distinct features that separates it from everything else. I did an article on X about that as well recently. Yeah, and I kind of changed from the accountability layer to the trust layer for Flare. It's the trust layer. Flare Networks makes crypto trustworthy. It's important because you understand TradFi exists because of all the marketing around it that it's trustworthy. Things like FDIC and other things. That's how they built out what they built out. Now, most of it is an illusion, like FDIC, but that's what they ran on. That's why most people use a bank, have bank accounts, right? So how it works, the capital efficiency loop. This creates a new paradigm for capital efficiency. Check this out. The XRP and XLM holder, despite idle assets in a deposit idle assets into a Firelight vault. They earn yield for the first time, not from token emissions, but from real insurance premium paid by institutions. You understand? And if you're an asset holder, if you're a little old asset holder, you got to get how important that is for us. Our assets are being recognized and valued, right? What does they call it? Pristine. You get it? The key to wealth is holding pristine assets. Absolutely the key. You understand? And we get a chance to do that. And then have them value. Yeah, they are valuable in the marketplace. These assets, right? So the XRP and XLM holders deposits idle assets into a Firelight vault. They earn yield for the first time, not from token emissions, but from real insurance premiums paid by institutions. Deposits. Very, very, very similar to dividend paying whole life insurance policies, if you understand how those work. Very, very similar concept. So the DeFi institution, they buy covers for their positions. They sleep at night knowing their insurance fund isn't 90% correlated to the very risk they are hedging against. Listen, this is institutional speak, and I'm telling you, this is what they love. This is what they want, they have been waiting for. And that doesn't mean they're going to take 100% of their liquid stuff and go into DeFi, but they can allocate accordingly with safeguards. When it comes time to explain to the committees and to the board and to the shareholders, they can explain it, right? It's important. So this is risk on utility for risk off assets. Wow, I love that. I love that. Let me welcome some more people into the stream. That's a good way of putting it. Jesus is a smart dude. Where do you live, Zed? Hydroponics 4200. What's going on, bro? If you're in the EU, it's not, you can't do anything from the EU. Anyone else coming? Any new people? No? All right, let's get back. So the institutional reality is important. I speak with institutional allocators every week, says Jesus. When they evaluate a risk management platform, they look for resilience. They know that in a true black swan event, correlation goes to 1. But they also know that a properly structured insurance fund, this is what we say in the dividend paying whole life business we teach. They always say that. A properly structured insurance product. Same thing, same concept. So they know that this, in a true black swan event, correlation goes to 1. But they also know that a properly structured insurance fund should have non-correlated reserves to survive the shock. By uncoupling the asset layer from the liability layer, Firelight is building the first insurance primitive that is robust enough for the next $1 trillion of TVL. That makes me want to go get some more Firelight points when he worded it like that. Let me say that again. By uncoupling the asset layer from the liability layer, Firelight is building the first insurance primitive that is robust enough for the next $1 trillion of TVL. We are moving from DeFi insurance, which is quote unquote a gamble, to DeFi risk transfer, a market. I love it. Nicely done, my friend. The difference is everything. The difference is everything. Montreal, Canada, you should be good, bro. You should be good. Unless the cap, is the cap reached? Might be the cap has been reached. That might be it. Let me check something out here real quick for you, Zed. Let me check something out. That might be what it is. You guys know Pookie Pookie? That might be what it is. Nicely done, my guy. Nicely done, Jesus. Nicely done. Nicely done. Yeah, it says cap one is approaching its deposit limit. If you're unable to make a deposit, keep an eye on our official channels. Yeah, yeah. So that might be what it is, said. That might be what it is, my friend. Again, if you get the bigger picture, I'm just not sure why someone would not be participating here who's an XRP holder. I don't understand. Like, I'm not saying 100% without question. I'm not telling people what to do with their money. No way. But if you get the bigger picture of making the strong stronger, you want this to win. You want Firelight to win here. Like, you want Firelight to win. Boy, was it nice to see Bitcoin over at 97,000. That was very, very cool. How many guys got any questions? You got any questions about this? Do you see what I see here? Is the bigger picture? XRP holders, XLM holders, do you get the big picture here? Like, do you get the big picture? How often do you get a chance to say you have assets that are valued in the marketplace? You hold assets that are valued, highly regarded, and valued in the marketplace. And you didn't have to go through some nepotism course, right? You didn't have to go through an interview. You didn't have to be an accredited investor. This is an opportunity of 3 lifetimes. But this whole idea of just sitting, hanging out on the cold storage and let everyone else make the strong stronger, I don't understand that. I don't understand it. Oh, let me find my thing here about this dude's asinine insight. Um, I think that's important. Let me find that. Before you can share that, give you my 2 cents on this whole thing. It's a little disgusting, but that's what happens when you start up a YouTube channel. You can just do crazy stuff. Let me find it first and I'll share it. Panos from Anados Finance put me onto this. So he posted about it. Where is your thing at, Panos? All right, I'm going to have to go to his page for, give me a second. Let me go to his page. It's Panos Mech, right? Um, I believe. Is it Mech? Yeah, Mech. Hope you're doing well, my guy. Um, did he take it down? I wonder if he took that down. I don't know why you would take that down, bro. Oh, here it is. All right, let me share this. Let me cover this nonsense. Kind of cray cray. It's kind of cray cray, pookie pookie. Brother Crypto, it's kind of cray cray this here. Let's go right here. Right. Share this right here. Panos put this out. Says here, I'm blocked by DAI, but seeing this made me realize he still posts misleading content to push his narratives. Don't fall for his BS and give up custody because someone told you to. Self custody will be protected by the bill. P.S. Screw the banks and the centralized bodies who want to keep you a slave. If you are not willing to fight for your basic rights, freedom to transact, freedom to financial privacy, what are you even doing here? Now, I would play you that asinine video uh, on YouTube, but I'm not going to play that. But here's something that was posted on X. Here's a section from the Clarity Act on hard wallets. If you think hard wallets are going to give you some kind of fantasy land libertarian freedom, think again. This was always going to end with institutional custody being considered legitimate. I don't even know if there's a read more here, but I don't need to read anymore. This is the dumbest. I mean, it's just the dumbest thing that could ever been said in crypto. It's crypto. This is a new system. And this whole idea or notion that, oh, okay, I'm just going to bow down. I'm just going to bow down to the powers that be. I'm just insignificant. That kind of mindset and mentality is disturbing when we've been given a chance for a new financial system with a level playing field, with our ability to set the standards and not be beholden to a system that doesn't want us to win. Now, I get his thinking because he's been indoctrined as a financial planner. I hate to say it, to the dumb way of not being able to be, not having the ability to think for yourself. Because you can't offer financial products that are really beneficial to the person sitting on the other side of your desk. You got to offer what the company that hired you and is paying your bills, their products, which they know are inferior. So I could get this dude's bowing down, an inability to think for himself mentality. So let me do this. I didn't mean to do that. Discard that. Let me find my post here about this and share my 2 cents here. Uh, if I could find my own post within my feed. Let's see. Do me a favor, guys. Hit that like button. On the way in, that would be super duper dope. You know how we do? We just like to have just as many likes as we have viewers in the stream. Thank God for the people going out there and taking care of in their own way the people over at ICE. Thank God for that. Because, boy, that is a disaster with these paid protesters that have now become violent and damaging property. Where's my, I have been doing a lot of stuff here on X. I can't even find my own post. What's going on? Oh, so here it is right here. I said, so, and I tagged Panos in here. I said, so let me get this straight. Some dude's asinine insight has you thinking self custody will red flag you. That's what he said in the video. So you should trust a centralized custodian instead, like the one he's affiliated with and partnered with, Caleb and Brown. I said, how about no? The real world is simpler. Ramps, exchanges, and banks, they run anti-money laundering checks. They don't flag hardware wallets. They flag risk, like the source of the funds, sanction exposures, just like the XRPL, right? Stolen funds, mixers, links, etc. Even the global standards talk about risk-based controls around unhosted and self-hosted wallets, mainly when you interact with the VASP. I think it's a virtual asset service provider. That's not owning a ledger nano makes you suspicious. It's prove slant control plus monitor the risk. The claim that the IRS, that was a quote, IRS will require you to disclose you have self-custody is speculation. What the IRS actually focuses on is taxable activity. Receive, sell, depose, or report. Not check this box if you own a hardware wallet. So here's another of this dude's asinine insight. I hope you guys are getting that whole thing there. There's no point in a hardware wallet because you'll need liquidity anyway. That's this dude's asinine insight. There's no point in a hardware wallet because you'll need liquidity anyway. It's a false choice. Self-custody is about counterparty risk and hacks and freezes, right? Withdrawal halts. You won't understand it until you've been part of one, right? Insolvency and policy changes, like You can't sign into this app and access your crypto unless you agree to and read this new terms of agreement. If you don't know, you should ask someone about that. That happens all the time. All the time. Liquidity does not equal custody. It's a dude's asinine insight. Here's another dude's asinine insight. Put it on a regular exchange so you'll be looked at legitimately. $200,000 subscribers and people just following along mindlessly like cows on a trail to feeding. It's unbelievable to me. Legitimacy comes from clean provenance plus records plus taxes. That's where legitimacy comes from. Provenance plus records plus taxes, not from renting safety, from a centralized honeypot. I mean, it's nonsensical. You get it? A centralized honeypot. Centralized custody has a giant attack surface, right? Employees, vendors, ticketing, account recovery, internal approvals, legal risk. Attackers don't break the vault. They find one weak human seam. SIM swaps taught everyone this. Well, not everyone. You get it? Self-custody, and this is important, is a smaller system that you, the owner of the assets, can harden over time. And don't tell me about the thing that they are not wanting to do. They're not going to want to. People don't want to eat healthy. People don't want to go to the gym. You understand? Self-custody is a smaller system that you can harden over time. Better backups, better signing hygiene, better phishing resistance, better device security. You're in control. You get better. You understand? Don't fall for this nonsense about the thing that you aren't capable of doing. Who told you that? There's two things. It's like this mental assurance, and then there's the real assurance. There's a mental assurance and a real assurance. And here's what I mean. The mental assurance that people take on is that if they give their custody up to someone else, they have someone else to blame. That's why they do it. Subconsciously, that's why they do it. I got someone to go back to. I got someone I can call. That's why it's done. But the reality is, you put your assets at greater risk by giving it the custody up to someone else. I used the AT&T SIM swap example because when you think about the SIM swaps that happened at AT&T, how did that happen? How did it happen? A group of bad guys had a list of 10 to 20 people who were vulnerable. You think they can't find out the vulnerabilities? Child support, 30, 60, 90 days behind on credit cards. You think they can't find the vulnerable in a system that has 1,000 employees and convince just one to accept payment, to give up a few numbers so that the bad guys can get access? You don't think that happens? What do you think happened last challenge with Coinbase? It's about one person. It's all it takes. It's a big attack vector. And I don't care if it's whoever this dude's asinine insights, whoever he's, promoting. They reached out to me. They reached out to me. And they could be good or not good. It doesn't matter. You're putting your assets at more risk. You're not making them safer. Just because they throw a phrase around like institutional grade custody. Right? You can't self-improve 1,000 employees organization's weakest link. You can't do it. You have to create a system and harden it. Get better at it. In my opinion. So if someone scares you with, you'll be a red flag, and then immediately says, use my partner, that's not education. That's a fear funnel. Listen, the balance take is really simple. Expect more question at the ramps sometimes. Ask your questions. I have nothing to hide. Cool. But calling self custody pointless is just some dude's asinine insight. You get it? Louis 1068 says, thanks for keeping us in touch. You're welcome, my friend. You're welcome. You understand? I mean, immediately after throwing shade at self custody, immediately in that video, he shares his partner and how they'll just, allow you to give up custody and control of your assets, and they'll protect it for you. Again, this has nothing to do with that particular organization. It has everything to do with that dude's asinine insight. You get it? Alex Sheets in the building. What's up, bro? How are you, my friend? All right, guys, listen, I rambled long enough. I wanted to kind of share that. If you want to check me out on X, that would be awesome if you could do that at crypto underscore CEJ. Oh, you know what? If you guys wouldn't mind giving me a follow over on that TikTok, that would be awesome. I started a thing over there. Um, I am like completely not familiar with TikTok at all, but I did start one. Let me share, and I'm using my what am I using? I'm using my birth name. Let me see if I can find it. My at thing. I would love it if you guys can give me a follow over there. Um, I think no wait. I think the way you would find it is at CEEJ, which is CJ Miller, and the number two. I think that's how it would work. I'd appreciate if you guys could give me a follow over there. I'm just starting to upload content, so that would be super duper dope. At CEEJ Miller 2. I think that's how you do it. But you'll see my profile pic. This lovely bald dome. That'd be awesome if you guys could go over there and follow me there. I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate you guys checking in again. Happy Talk That Talk Thursday. So I figured it is Talk That Talk Thursday. I might as well go on in on that dude's asinine insight. Yeah, I see your point, but the EU already requests KYC on yeah, it's KYC self custody. But again, people knowing that you have self custody is not the challenge, or some entity knowing. The challenge is losing the right to self custody. Now, are there people in the self custody and the privacy mode thinking that they're going to get away with something like, get away with provenance taxes? I'm sure there are, but that happens right now, right? Right? People are in current system trying to get away with not paying taxes. Some people legally don't pay taxes, right? So the idea is the assets and who holds the assets. That's the game. The game is who holds the assets. That's the game, right? It's not trying to hide whether you made a few trades, right? Right. The game is who holds the assets. That's the game. Again, legitimacy comes from provenance, right? And taxes and doing the things that you're supposed to do. And I understand this as well. Carl Billy's is in the building. What's up, bro? Right? You think about the tax system. If you really understand the tax system, for every code or law that says pay the tax, there's a subsequent code or law says this is how you do not pay the tax. It's all there in writing for you. It's all there in writing. I don't get the tax thing. Like it's beyond me that people still are concerned about it. There's solutions to taxes. Now, should we have taxes at all? I'm not a big fan. I mean, the IRS clearly says that taxes are voluntary. How are they voluntary? The soon and the second that you fill out the form. The second you fill out the form, you volunteer to pay whatever the taxes result in at the end of filling out the form. That's what voluntary taxes is. People say, well, if you don't do it, they'll send you to jail. No, what they do is when you voluntarily fill out the form and don't pay your taxes, right? Right? But taxes are voluntary. It's the second you fill out that form. That's the voluntary part of it. Do your homework. I encourage you to do your homework and do your due diligence on the IRS. Understand their game so that you can play it better. because they give you the rules. And then you have to make a decision if you're going to continue to live your life as a W-2 employee and pay the highest in taxes or not. But you have options, you have choices. You could do a W-2 employee and have side hustles and side gigs. And get massive write-offs because you have side hustles and side gigs and YouTube channels. It's up to you. It's up to you. Maybe you like the brick and mortar thing. I'm thinking about doing one brick and mortar thing, and it's just really kind of like a what is it? What is it? What do I want to call it? Hobby thing, right? I like to shoot pool. I love billiards, right? And I've always thought, you know what? It'd be nice to own a billiard spot. I could own one of those. Significantly more hassles than um the side hustle and entrepreneur thing. So, but you could do that, right? Find one that you can manage that takes not a lot of managing brick and mortars. You know, like for me, I would never do a restaurant thing, right? That's a lot of management. That's a lot of stress. Restaurant, but yeah, the billiard thing for me, you only need one, 1 to 3 people. Two of them can be family. And you're good. And you're good. But in any case, just wanted to share that with you guys. I hope it has been valuable to you for sure. Do me a favor, hit that like button on the way out if you didn't get a chance to do so on the way in. Please leave a comment in the chat. Let me know, are you going to participate? Have you participate in Firelight? And are you going to participate in Firelight? That'd be awesome if you could let me know. Javon wants me to make videos about FlameX, Antinosis, etc. separated. Sure. I did one for Spectra, right? Or did I just do that to the Patreon? I have to remember. But yeah, absolutely. I'll be doing one of those each for the Patreon group first, and then I'll share that with you guys for sure. Carbillies is in the restaurant business. Oh, really? Really? Challenging, right? Not every brick and mortar is the same. They're not all the same, right? Right? They are not all the same. And how to use them the most efficient way, yeah. Javon says, for me, Flare Networks means crypto seeds. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. I'm supposed to ask more questions from you guys. So please let me know if you participate in the Firelight or plan on participating in Firelight. Let me know in the chat. That'd be awesome. What is your favorite Flare Networks D app? What's your favorite one? Historically, for me, it has been SparkDex, then followed by Kinetic. Um, I do like Spectra and what they're offering currently. Really? Corabilly says, I'm open 12 hours a week. 12 hours a week. It's just me and my wife, no employees. It's very challenging. Yes. Yeah, I hear you, my friend. I hear you. But good for you. Good for you. Got a lot of tax write-offs there, brother. Javon says his favorite Flare Networks D app is Kinetic right now. But we're too early. Yeah, we're definitely early. It's early. It's early days. It is early days. That's a blessing if you get it. Remember, Aave at one time was just getting started, right? You get it? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Crawbillies. I'm a little confused. I saw that little video of where they were talking about using your, I think you mean wrap flare, but mine's been under the same thing 4 years and I'm scared to change it. So I like Spectra. I like the PT on Spectra. I did enter an LP pool because I'm familiar with those on Spectra. Not a big amount. Spectra Finance, Spectra, Spectra Finance. Yeah. So yeah, let me know in the chat. And if you're watching this on replay, let me know if you participated on a Firelight. That'd be awesome if you could let me know that. And do you plan on, if you haven't yet, do you plan on doing so? Carbilly says, I only cook what I like to eat. Oh, I hear you, bro. I hear you. Very nice. 12 hours a week. I thought you were going to say 12 hours a day. Yeah, I got a perfect spot for that billiards place. I'm telling you, it's just perfect. Yeah, income's okay. You could get up, 80 to 100K, you know, it's okay. But for me, it would be the love of just having one. Appreciate you guys being here. As always, freaking New York football Giants. I would thought my New York Giant guy was going to show up in the live stream, but we got a new football head coach, man. That is awesome. That is awesome. So do me a favor, answer those questions in the chat and in the live stream. That would be super dope. What's your favorite D app? And have you used Firelight yet? And also in the comments, do me a favor and make this comment. Make the strong stronger. And don't forget to follow me on TikTok. That would be awesome if you guys could do that. Let me know if you already went to TikTok and followed me. I'll give you a shout out. It's at CEEJ Miller 2, the number 2. At CEEJ Miller 2. I'd appreciate it if you guys did that. I'm trying to grow that thing so I can add more content there. I'll be eventually doing TikTok lives as well. So that's gonna be it's gonna be really fun. All right, guys, I'm about to wrap it up. Appreciate you guys hanging in there. Do me a favor, hit that like button on the way out. That would be awesome. Please don't forget to comment. And I appreciate you guys. We got mad dash to get to 10,000 subs this month, which is a few, like 300 away, not far at all from making that happen. That would be dope. Super dope if you could subscribe to the channel, help us get to that 10,000 goal. That'd be awesome if you could do that. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so that you know whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video. I'm going to end this video like I do all my videos and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I, we're already winning. And I would ask you to consider this or perhaps ponder the idea or notion of living your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya. Bye.